In my interest in finding the truth, I went deep undercover. I wore a disguise. I used a new email address to secret shop Linus Tech Tips merch. But then I realized I was wasting my time because they have no idea who I am. So today, guys, we're here to check out some merchandise from Linus Tech Tips from lttstore.com. It's all over the internet. If you guys are anywhere near the tech industry, you've heard of it, you probably own some of it. I've had some of this stuff for a little while. Some of it's all brand new. Some of it I'm purchasing a second of because I possibly like it so much. So stick around for that and let's get into it. On a quick note, you guys might notice this hoodie here. This is not from lttstore.com. This is a Freakin' Reviews hoodie from my buddy James over there. Guy has a great channel. Most of the people watching this right now have probably already seen his channel, but if you guys haven't, I'm gonna put a link to his channel down there. Go check out his store. Let's just say he's got some pretty decent merch at some solid prices, and he just recently partnered up with us over at Patriot Coolers for his own. Just go check him out. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right, guys, we're gonna start up with something you guys have seen on this channel many times, whether you noticed it or not. This is one of the LTT desk pads. Very simple. I own 3 of these, 3 different colors. I kind of use them all over the place. One of them is over there on my main setup. It is the orange and black WAN show version. Then we have this one right here. This one has been in many videos. I like to put it out on the desk when I'm testing computer components, mice, keyboards. Sometimes I just like to have it here because they're nice. I mean, quality-wise, their mouse pads are phenomenal. You can get like a million different sizes, and they're all one price, which is pretty hard to beat. With the product I've probably used and tested the most, aside from the screwdriver, this is gonna be an absolute yes for me. Again, their quality is second to none. You guys know mouse pads, right? Our hands get dirty. I have a really bad habit of working on cars. Greasy hands, greasy arms, and I'm coming in to look things up on the computer. I know I should wash my hands first, but I don't. So I get grease and all sorts of random stuff on there. Take a little scrubby to it, washes it off. Colors stay perfect every time. No issues whatsoever. Now, before we jump into the newer screwdriver I picked up, we're gonna talk about the water bottle and a couple of the clothing items here first. We also have a little bit of a cable management to test out, even a jerry-rig everything knife. Now, this was a really good knife until it wasn't, but we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. All right, so the water bottle now I've had for well over a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. This was the first thing I ever ordered from Linus Tech Tips. I just love the style. I like the printing. The quality is really good on it. If I'm being completely honest, I haven't used this one in quite a while, mostly because of the lid type. You have to unscrew it like that every single time. Retention-wise, it's not bad. It'll hold ice for quite a while, but I have heard also that this is an older version. They have newer versions now, but realistically, since I started working with Patriot Coolers, this has been my go-to right here. Now, it's not customized, but you can see the size is very similar, and I kind of prefer this type of lid. Now, that being said, this is an older version of the LTT tumbler, right? They actually have a lid very similar to the Patriot Coolers one. Although I'm still going to recommend Patriot Coolers just because overall quality, it's kind of my preference. This was a really good water bottle for a long time, and I will probably order one of the new ones just to test out here later in the future. With that said, their color process, pretty awesome. It held up reasonably well. I have a couple dents in it. I use this thing all the time. I was working out in it. I was working around cars. You can see a little bit of the paint scraping off on the bottom. It's also pretty dirty, but overall, pretty decent product. Now, if you get one with a better lid, now I say better, this is a very strong lid. It's never broken. That is a problem with a lot of water bottles. A lot of people have, not this one. But overall, pretty solid cup. I just have a slightly different preference these days. Now, one thing I like to really point out here is they don't really skimp on cost. Now, sure, these aren't the cheapest hoodies in the world, right? I'll throw the prices up here for this hoodie, but the quality is normally second to none. Now, these are all new clothes here. I haven't bought any clothes from him before, but you can just see right away the quality is great. Here, let's check out the stitching here. Super clean stitching. I don't see any little errors, any little mistakes. Fabric-wise, it feels like a very nice, high-quality, kind of a denser cotton. The quality of the zipper feels good too. Again, these are just little things that I think about when checking out clothing. You can see here, this is the PCMR hoodie. Very simple tag inside. This is a large. Very, very comfortable hoodie. It sits really well. Actually, this might be my new daily wear. Now, that said, I own almost nothing that is yellow. It's just kind of a taste preference, but you know, this kind of works. Now, I have checked a lot of the reviews online from their stuff. I don't plan on running these through 20 or 30 washes to test out the quality, but other people have. Overall reviews on how long they last through the washes, people aren't noticing any kind of stitch issues. They're not noticing any color failing, nothing like that. They're pretty solid. They're very clean. Actually, this fits me really well. This fits me better than most of the hoodies I own. So, well done, guys. All right, on to the next one. We're gonna jump into a t-shirt real quick. I ordered this because I wanted to see how well their color printing goes. Now with clothing, there are plenty of different ways to customize them. There's screen printing, ink laying, there's a ton of different ways to do it. This feels like a screen print right here. You can kind of feel it's a little bit raised. The color is pretty awesome, which is good because this is a shirt representing the color gamut or the color spectrum, basically showing how color accurate something is and how much of it actually covers, which is pretty cool. So it looks like it's made of 60% cotton, 40% polyester. We have a tagless variant. I like that on t-shirts. Tags can be very annoying. Okay, what? Check out the tag. Why does it say do not drop?
A photo sense should be fairly obvious. Oi!
They have extra. Oh!
I wonder if that's like a little Easter egg. Do not drop. What? Why? Also on the back, we have the nice little LTT logo right here. Also feels like a screen printing. Overall quality feels pretty nice. Let's try it on. All right, when it comes to t-shirts, I'm pretty picky overall. I go to the gym, I take care of myself, but I am not in the world's best shape. So I like a loose fitting shirt around the midriff area and a little tighter around the arms. Just kind of a comfort preference. I don't want it to be all loose and baggy and look super sloppy, but I want it to be comfortable. This shirt's comfortable, but it does appear to run a little small for a large. Like, she got a little tight down here. But it's not too bad overall. It's very comfortable. The quality feels nice. It's got a really good color to it. And guessing from the way Linus Tech Tips and them run their product manufacturing and their quality control, it's gonna last. All right, jumping right into the next hoodie. This one I'm kind of excited about because if you look at the color scheme here, we got the teals, which, boom, teal. Then we have the purples, boom, purples. I like teals and purples. It's a pretty good color preference for me. And it is a full zip up. Now on top of the full zip up, you also have multiple pockets in here. So you have a top pocket, which is gonna stop things from sliding out. Then you have a side pocket right here, as well as a zip up pocket over here. Oh, that's nice. Check out the color in there. That's very nice. And then another pocket right here. So a lot of pocket options. Then you have yourselves a little bit of a hidden emblem right here. We'll try to get that on camera. Very subtle, I like that. Flipping around to the back, you have a little bit of a different color variant and another pocket that's almost going towards your back. Zipper quality feels great. It does feel like a complete different type of zipper than the other one. I like the purple lining there. Good touch, very clean aesthetic. If we look right here on the tag, do not drop. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. I did not see that coming. Let's get it all zipped up. Okay. I didn't know it had this. It's got the little thumb holes. Honestly, this would be super nice for winter. This feels very warm. You can tell it's a really thick yet comfortable fabric. Looks like right here we also have some breather arms too. So when you start to get too warm, even in the winter. I mean, honestly, this would be great for probably snowboarding. I don't think it's waterproof. And then looks like we have another one right here. Interesting place for these breather holes. They're not quite lined up, but again, to each their own. It's a very, very comfortable hoodie. But that said, if you're a person who likes to wear a hoodie and pull up the sleeves, this is not the one for you. They're tight. I imagine that's for a pretty good reason. This will keep you very warm in the winter. Test out the hood. Again, this thing fits fantastic though. Awesome, awesome fit. I really like that part. All right, we're not gonna go too deep into the clothing though. Next, we're gonna jump up to the LTT screwdriver. So we're gonna start with this one. I've had this screwdriver for a little over a year now, right here. And then we're gonna open up this one. My experience with this, well, I bought a second one. So if that doesn't tell you. First thing to know, I do a lot of work. I've done a lot of work on bird scooters, cars, electrical wires, computers, pretty much anything you can imagine with this screwdriver. This is definitely my favorite go-to, like without a doubt. I own a lot of tools, like a crazy amount of tools. I was a mechanic for years between helicopters, airplanes, and cars. So if you guys haven't seen this screwdriver, which I imagine most of you have, I am surprised to admit I still have most of the bits. I am missing one. I'm not sure which one. You can see the bits go right up in here, quite a few options. And with the amount of times I have stripped out screwdriver heads, this one grips awesomely and has zero wear on it. Pretty impressed by that. They really took some time to really go into that. Oh, I'm not missing a head. It's right there. So with that said, I wholeheartedly recommend the LINUS Tech Tip screwdriver. I have been using it for over a year, and I liked it so much, I bought a second one. Now this one right here, this one's not going to be used on the automotive side because I don't think the color would hold up quite as well. But inside the box, you have all of the same bits right here, fantastic bits. Then you have the actual screwdriver itself. Feels like they're still using the exact same ratcheting mechanism from back then. Honestly, the design looks completely identical except for the color. Same knurled end. I mean, guys, it's a fantastic screwdriver. I know the price is a little up there for a single screwdriver. I get that. But if you get one and you do a lot of work on computers or cars, or if you're in the electronics industry in general, shoot, if you do wiring for a house, this thing is stellar. Check it out. I'm just going to throw a link to the lttstore.com down below. I mean, most of you guys already know what it is. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Now, shipping time on these took about 8 days. 8 days to get everything. That was 8 days after order. That was not 8 working days. It was 5 working days, so not including the weekend. Looks like right here, they offer a whole bunch of extra bits right here as well. I will probably be ordering a couple of those. It would certainly be nice to have some of the Torque security bits for a lot of the stuff I do. All right, next up, I just wanted to check these out. I haven't seen any of these in person. I'm a huge fan of cable management. Now, my cable management in general is a little different than the average person. I didn't want to see all the cables. Here, I'll throw a picture up. So I ran most of my cables through the wall, but under my desk, it still would have been very nice to use something like these. So these might actually be replacing some of the cable ties and current sticky methods I have going on. So these are the large version of the magnetic cable management arches. Okay, pretty nice. So you can see right here, it's got 2 large magnets on the bottom. So if you have a metal desk, you don't even have to use the plates. Then it's got the nice LTT logo right here in the middle, very clean. Now these ones are going to be able to let quite a few bigger cables through. You know, you could run a few of your HDMI cables, power cables, stuff like that without too much space. This is the large one. They do have smaller versions if you're just running a couple small cables. And now, the only issue I saw with these online, like when checking the reviews, is that on occasion, somebody either wouldn't get the right size plate. These are the plates that you can screw in, or double-sided sticky tape, that these are going to snap to. Now, in a couple of the complaints, people are like, hey, I didn't get the right plate, or I got the wrong size, but they reached out and they got one sent over to them really quick, no issues. That is strong. Just trying to pull that apart. That takes some effort. Heck yeah, those are pretty awesome. These are gonna go into use somewhere in the setup. I just haven't figured out where yet. I just wanted to get my hands on them, see what they look like in person. Again, pretty quality as everything else, even though it's just basically a molded piece of plastic with a couple of pretty solid magnets and then a thin piece of metal. Now we will come into the one thing that I ordered from lttstore.com that kind of failed me. Now you guys did just see me use it, so that's why I said kind of failed. This is my Jerry Rig Everything knife. This is over 1.5 years old. I've probably been through 7 or 8 blades on it. This thing used a tremendous amount, like it's used a lot. Now, what failed at this current time, you can't quite tell. So right here, you have the retaining bolt. This is what holds the blade contraption in. One day I was outside, I was using this to open up a big pallet, and the whole thing just kind of fell apart in my hand. So what happened is it looks like I lost this other retaining screw. You can see it right here. It's just an open hole now, and it fell apart. So I did manage to put it back together, and it still works. But when I'm using it, I have to kind of put my thumb here because you don't want that thing falling out while you're dealing with some blades. A little sketchy. I did reach out to their support team just because I was curious to see how they would handle the situation. And since this is a Jerry Rig Everything knife, they simply recommended me over to their own support team. Totally understandable, but being over 1 year old, it's been through quite a bit of abuse, and they're pretty cheap to begin with. I didn't feel it was necessary to go any further with it. It's a basic knife. It's done its job. But it would be nice to see if they had a little bit of Loctite in there so it couldn't fall out. So overall, I'm gonna give the LTT store a 9 out of 10. So if you guys wanna check out any of this stuff here, make sure to visit lttstore.com. This is not a sponsored video. This is just something fun I wanted to try out. And I like supporting creators that I enjoy watching. So I purchased the stuff to kind of show my support. So thanks everybody for swinging in. I appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one.